Namaste, Ambassador Sangeeta Devdasi. It's truly an honor to welcome you to our channel Spark Igniting Minds, and I'm so excited to delve deep into your journey both as a diplomat and also as an author.
Thank you so much, Captain Sahana. It's my honor, my pleasure to be here with you on your channel. I believe you've already done a lot of interviews with some very interesting people, so I'm happy to join the line. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. Hello, Sangeeta ji. It's such an inspiration to have you over here. My first question to you is, you have joined the IFS, and a very few women join IFS, and I'm so proud that you joined IFS in 1987. And after that, what was your journey like as a diplomat?
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of an interesting background story about how I ended up joining the Foreign Service was that, my father was also in the civil services. He was in the income tax. And by the time I finished my undergrad and I was doing my postgrad, the first year of that, we were in Bombay, posted at that time. So, being the way things were at that time, there were only 3 or 4 acceptable careers, respectable careers for people from this kind of a background. So my parents were very keen. First they said become a doctor. I said no. They said become a lawyer. I said no. So join the academic line, become a professor. I said no, because I was a bit of a wild child. So just a rebel without a cause and a pause. So whatever my parents said, why don't you do this? I'd say no. That was my first response. So they were like, then what the hell do you want to do with your life? So I thought about it and I said, what will make them the most irritated? That was my whole goal in life at that time. So I was like, okay. So in that case, I have 3 options. Either I can become a journalist because I love writing.
Correct.
Or I can, join hotel management because it's such a glamorous life in my eyes. Third, and most importantly, I said I'll become an air hostess. So you can imagine the kind of, what should I say, the absolute explosion that happened at home. And my father and mother were like, are you nuts? You were doing your post-graduation. Now you want to, go become an air hostess? I said, I don't care. That's what I want to do. So there was this whole conflict going on at home. And suddenly, like out of the blue, one of my dad's oldest friends, very dear friend of his, he dropped in and he was staying with us. So he saw the tension in the house and he asked my father, what is this going on? Why aren't you people talking to each other? So my dad was like, just look at the stupid girl. She's doing her first year of MA and she wants to go become an air hostess, glorified waitress and all that. So my father's friend.
That time air hostess was very fascinating to all young
of
women.
us, we had all read Coffee, Tea or Me, right? That was the famous book. So my dad's friend, he had the sense to ask me why. Why do you want to become an air hostess? So I said, because I want to travel, see new places, meet new people. So he said, that's great. Join the Foreign Service instead and travel in style. I was like, is there something like that? They said, yeah, it's very much a part of the, the civil services. And of course, you have to do very well up here, be there in the first 100 or whatever to be even offered the job. So I was very fascinated by that. I said, okay, that's one service maybe I'll agree to do. So I told my parents very clearly, if I get through to the IFS, I'll join. Any other service, it's a it's no.
So you had to write an ICS for this and then choose IFS.
Civil Services UPSC
Civil Services UPSC examination.
So depending on your rank and your choice, then you get your choice of service. So that's how I ended up joining the Foreign Service. My parents were the most surprised because they told everyone this girl is very intelligent, but she doesn't study at all. And very frankly, I took it, like a laugh.
Very lightly.
I said, "ठीक है, नहीं होता. I still have my hostess career to fall back on." But to everybody's surprise, I made it. So in '87, I joined the Foreign Service. And then, for the first 1 year, you train in India. So it starts with Mussoorie, where all the other Class A services also
How many
come.
were there in your
In
batch?
my batch, 12.
Including only two girls.
Two girls and 10 guys.
So you were the first girl to join an IFS or something like that?
No.
Were,
They've always been people. In fact, the first lady to join the IFS was from the south, actually. She was called Muthamma. Yeah, and we all worship her because she never got married herself. But do you know that in those days, women in IFS in particular, they had to sign a contract with the government saying they will not get married. And if they get married, they'll resign on that day itself.
So you also had signed a contract like
By
that?
then, she had fought. The government should have taken them to court, and she said, "What the hell is this? If men can get married, why the hell can't?" So they had some vague reason that you are a woman, so your home and family should be more important. If you're traveling around the world, then how will you take care of? So she said, "That's none of your concern. I mean, it's for us to figure out how we do it."
Yeah.
So we are all so thankful to her. She joined the service way back in the 50s. Sometime. And that's when she really fought a huge battle with the government.
Yeah.
She got it done for us, but she herself never got married. so that's how it happened. And then like you finish your 1 year in India, which includes all kinds of things.
Training at Mussoorie, is it?
3 months at Mussoorie with all the services, because Mussoorie is the IAS academy.
Okay.
But the rest of us also go there from the IFS, IPS, all the class 1 services. So we all...
And is there an exclusive training for IFS also?
Yes. But the first 3 months is for everyone together.
Everyone together.
So
yes,
you're given the basics of administration and all the stuff, little bit of international relations, this, that. Law, a little bit of law as well, law and order situations, how to handle them and all. And then after 3 months, then in our days, we used to go on a district attachment for 1 month, all of us. The IS people did it for much longer, but the other services would go for about, about a month.
Okay.
And so just to get a taste of what it's like. And then after that, then you come back to Delhi. Our training institute is in Delhi. So you come there, and then for 1 year you are there. And then you are in that process, in that 1 year, you are attending various classes which pertain only to your job, not to everybody else.
So you have to do a degree in external affairs or something?
No, any
But
subject.
they'll teach you all about the external
Once
affairs.
you join, then they do teach you.
Yeah.
They get you to meet all the ministers, all the the senior secretaries, and various heads of division. They all come and talk to you about their line of work, their experiences, etc.
So you will be always placed under the Ministry of External Affairs.
That's right.
So you must have met all the External Affairs Minister. Under whom all have you worked?
The ministers.
The ministers.
Oh, when I joined the service, I think at that time it was, I'm forgetting his name, but a very high-profile minister he used to be. I'll tell you if I remember. And then various people, and the last one, of course,
Jaishankar, did you work with?
I have worked with him as a foreign secretary.
Foreign secretary.
Not as EM, which he became later. But Sushma Swaraj was a very high-profile lady, as you know. So, and she was very, very, very interactive with all of us.
Yes.
So to the extent that once a year all heads of mission are called for a meeting to India. So I was amazed to see she remembered everybody's name, who's posted where. If she'd had any specific requests or conversations with that person, she'd give us a call out and say, you remember I called you at 2 in the morning, woke you up for this. And I was fascinated. She was just an amazing
She
lady.
also did as a foreign minister, is it? No.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And it was one Ramakrishna, not Ramakrishna, Krishna?
Yeah. He was also there.
SM Krishna was there, I think.
Yes,
for
that's
some
right.
time. Yeah.
So it's been in 35 years.
So many ministers you might have come across.
Totally, including Vinod Khanna, by the way, the film
Vinod
star,
Khanna also.
who was Minister of State for External Affairs at one time.
Really?
So we all used to wait outside his office for a glimpse when he walked up.
Yeah, a celebrity and also good looking.
Very good looking, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, so after you finish this 1 year in headquarters, then they allocate a compulsory foreign language to you. So again, depending on your choice and your rank within the service, you get, so I was given Spanish.
Wow.
So then after 1 year, then you leave
Then
for...
you went to Spain,
Yes.
no, as an
Yes.
ambassador to
No,
India.
no, very junior at that time. I was just
Okay.
the third secretary.
Okay, to
So-
go as an ambassador, you need a seniority for that.
Of course, at least 22 years in service.
Okay.
So the first time you go as a third secretary.
Third secretary.
Yeah, so the third secretary, language training is what you say. So your primary job in that posting is to learn the language.
Okay.
So they enroll you in the university, you know, you learn the language, you pass the exams. Until you pass the exams, you're not confirmed in service.
So in your 35 year of diplomatic career, like what felt very meaningful to you? Which posting, I can ask you?
I would say that all my postings have been phenomenal in different ways. Because, you know, unlike a lot of my other colleagues, I have mostly been posted in Europe, West Europe, East Europe, and my only posting outside was Mexico. So I would say all of them were phenomenal. Mexico was very special because, first of all, my only posting on that side of the Atlantic, and my younger daughter was born there, and it's a very, very fascinating culture, very fascinating country. Our relations were, you know, not all that close because it's just too far away. So the idea was to build it up. So while you are there, you are, you know, like you're working to profile your country, to, you know, to make it more familiar to the people
there.
To their foreign office, to their other ministries, etc. So you have very set objectives. You have to achieve this year, this. So it's very focused. But
So you had 2 children by then?
I had 2 children, 2 daughters, and they are well grown up now. My younger one happens to be on the autistic spectrum. So it's been a challenge to bring her up alone.
Yes.
And but she's a lovely child, and like someone told me once, like how many people have the good luck to always have a clear-hearted child in their life.
So innocent
So
they
innocent.
are. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been. Of course, I'm not saying I don't get irritated. There are times when you're like, you know, what? But overall, I think she's been there for me. I've been there for her, and we're very close.
And your elder daughter?
My older one is now has been in London now for the last 4 years, and she's working there. As of now, she's with JP Morgan. And well, you know, I'm after her life, get married. I even told her, don't get married, give me a grandchild. But she just rejects all such things. So I don't, you know,
such a broad-minded woman, I can say. Very nice.
But she's like, she's very shocked by the whole idea. She's like, what kind of a mother are you? So,
Okay. So how did your experience in diplomacy influence your writing? You are such a lovely writer and a very prestigious writer. People sort of, I mean, people read your books of Carl and also Devadasi. So how did this influence of your diplomacy get into your writing?
You know, that's a very interesting question. I've never really consciously thought about how, you know, but what happens is that when you're traveling so much and you're posted in so many different countries, each of which have their own culture, their own language, their own way of looking at the world. So beyond a point, after the first couple of years when you're still raw and you're judging everything by your own standards because what you've grown up with, after 2-3 years, you are like, you know, that's also a very valid way of looking at the world. And that's also a very valid way of living. And okay, they have these cultural nuances, which is fine. You know, what's wrong with that? Just because it doesn't match with mine, why should I think that it's, and plus you are meeting a lot of interesting people, you are listening to, you know, a lot of very different ideas about the world, about politics, about international relations, about what, you know, the two countries are doing together. And also a lot of people you meet who are very conversant in history, in you know, in the fine arts or whatever it might be, and you unconsciously you draw these ideas into your brain while you're talking to them. So when you start writing, you find that a lot of your prejudices have disappeared. So you are able to then create characters create a world scenario which might be very different from what you have grown up in, and you can do it without any judgment. So it's like if a character is, as per our standards, might be not a good person, but they always have, like some offsetting values, which in their culture is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just give you one small example, a very interesting one. So when I was posted to Mexico, so you know how we are, we'll always, if you meet a woman in particular, and you're talking to her woman to woman, so one of the questions you ask is, okay, so, what does your husband do? How, and especially women who have children, right?
Yeah.
So, and in our mind, it's like, so, hey, if bache hain, to fir, obviously she'll have a husband. And so I would ask that, and a lot of women would turn around and say, I don't have a husband. So we're like, oh, are you divorced? They said, no, we never got married.
Okay.
And you were like, oh, how can that be?
Yeah.
But then you realize that the history is such that when the Spaniards came and, like they occupied almost all of South America, they were very brutal. I love the Spaniards now, but in those days they used to be very brutal. So along with destruction of their, the local cultures, religions, everything, they raped a lot of women. So as a result, many of them just had children out of marriage. So whatever resistance they had towards the idea of a woman becoming a mother only after getting married, that had to be necessarily discarded.
Okay.
So in their culture now, it's very common, and families are supportive. You have a child outside marriage, the child is yours. Like, you don't need a father's name to sort of give it legitimacy. So these kind of things, which
earlier also, I think when we go back to our culture, there were instances like this, and there was a culture like this.
Satyavati. Let's not forget her. She had a child out of marriage, right? Before she married Shantanu. And a lot of other Menka and all these Apsaras.
Yes.
So
but
true.
now we have become brought in lot of structure and a kind of, I don't know, that family is so important, husband, children.
Absolutely. And if you do something outside that framework.
Outside that field work, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrongdoer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So these are the kind of things you learn, and therefore you can sort of, when you're writing, unconsciously you're incorporating them in your story and your characters.
Correct.
So I think that's how it has influenced my writing.
Okay. So your tenure at the Nehru Center, placed you at the heart of India's cultural outreach.
Yes.
So how did those roles contribute to your understanding of storytelling and also the cultural part of it?
Before I went as director to the Nehru Center, I was also with the Indian Council for Cultural Relations on deputation for 3 years. So then after that, I went as director of our flagship cultural center, which is basically administered and overseen by the ICCR. So I already had the exposure from one side of the table. Going to the cultural center put me on the other side. And the best part was that because it's a flagship center and it's in London, which has, as you know, a very, very large Indian community. Many are fresh immigrants, many have been living there for generations, as you know. So you're really at the heart of the Indian cultural scene, definitely there. And because people are getting very curious about India now with our growth and our rise, a lot of other people also want to interact with you, also want to get to know what you're doing. So for me, it was extremely interesting to be the director, because that's one cultural center where we do not teach, say, dance, yoga, music, etc. A lot of other cultural centers of ours do that. But there, because London already has so much of this going around, there's so many places which are teaching you Indian dance, Indian music, where, you can go and learn yoga. So we have always thought that it's a waste of time for us to repeat the same efforts. Many other people are doing it. So we focused on the programming. So
Okay.
we'd get the best of the artists from India, from locally, speakers, others who wanted, painters, who we had a beautiful exhibition hall, so they could come and exhibit there. So one huge thing was that I learned a lot about our own culture and the fine arts. Because, I had a familiarity with it, but when you become friends with these people who are performing artists, who are speakers, who are, like experts in certain areas of culture, you get to imbibe a lot from them.
Yes.
So that was very, very interesting for me. And the fact that we could do the outreach to some of the best institutions in London, be they museums or, when artists came, sometimes, they would be booked by these really prestigious venues like Victoria and Albert Hall, etc. So you got to know them as well. You worked with them. Maybe you got a very nice exhibition from India. So we would be putting it up in the best museums, other venues and all. So I focused a lot on trying to take our artists and all outside London. Because London has so much, but our communities in other smaller cities like, be it Birmingham or Leicestershire or wherever, so they are deprived. They feel deprived, that we are ignored. So we tried a lot during my tenure to see if we could take these artists to those venues as well, to outside London, to other cities. So it became a very vibrant time for me personally, and also for the center, because we were doing a lot of stuff which we hadn't tried before, and it was working out.
What were the other objectives of that Nehru Center? It is only to promote culture.
Yes,
of India?
because it is essentially the cultural wing of the High Commission there.
Okay.
But because, I was already very senior at that time, so I was not reporting to the High Commission. I would just keep him informed. This is what we are doing. But essentially, I was doing everything independently. So it was, we acted as the cultural wing, but we had a different building altogether, completely independent, where we had a very nice auditorium, we had an exhibition hall, we had, a whole lot of other facilities that we could offer to people. So that is the essence of the cultural centers. They do the cultural work, because this is a people-to-people kind of interaction that we do there. The rest of the embassy or the High Commission would focus more on the political relations, economic, commercial, etc.
So you never went into those areas?
Not in London.
Not in London, maybe after that. When you are posted,
wherever you're posted,
wherever you're posted, you have different things to do.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
And then when you become ambassador, then of course you're looking after everything. Like you're supervising everything, yeah.
So, Indian spirituality is very vast and also layered. How do you balance between the accessibility and also the authenticity while bringing these ideas into maybe your books or fantasy fiction? Yeah.
As you rightly said, we have such a well of spiritual knowledge, traditions, etc. So you hear about a lot of them in passing because we are Indians, and you hear from your parents, your grandparents, you have read all the epics, a lot of other stuff that is easily available. So I had a fairly good grounding, I would say not an excellent one, and all thanks to my dad, who was like a genius, and he carried whole libraries of knowledge in his head. So just casual conversations across the dining table just gave us so much knowledge and information. And then he loved reading, and he loved sharing stories. So he just read out a whole lot of books to us from the time we were very small. So from the time we were 3-4 years old till we were in college, so this kind of a thing.
So you were spiritually accomplished right from the age.
I wouldn't say at all accomplished, no.
But at least you had a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, I had a lot. But when I started writing, especially my first series of 4 books, the Carl tetralogy, so that like suddenly it was like, if I'm creating an original Indian superhero who is not a ripoff of one of the characters in our epics, like I wasn't writing about Sri Ram, I was not writing about Sri Krishna, I was not writing about any of the major characters in these epics. So this was a totally new creation.
A
the whole-
fantastical.
Yes, so the universe was different. It was based on something like India of the pre-Vedic, times. Pre-Vedic times.
That's
And it was like that was the basic ambience, but the characters were completely new. My hero was like the most devastatingly handsome, charming,
so Carl is
wonderful
the
person.
protagonist in your.
No, Carl comes as Carl himself. Carl as in
Carl as a
as
time.
time, death, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
So he is a very major character in the book. But he's not my protagonist. My protagonist is a superhero, and ultimately he turns into an avatar, a sort of an avatar. I don't call him an avatar in the book, but that's the kind of powers he acquires and everything. So then for that, I had to do a lot of research, right? Because
Correct.
if you're taking up a spiritual concept and incorporating in the book without lecturing people, you're making it a part of the story.
Yes.
So you need to, and when I sat and started reading, I said, oh God, how am I going to incorporate it in the book without preaching from the pulpit? But then I think something would just take over. It was like the muses just awakening.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember just sitting there and writing straight for 8 hours.
Oh.
And without looking up, without realizing. And then I'd finish and look at that. I said, did I write that? Do I even understand all this? So
you transport yourself into a different world
That's
altogether
right.
while writing. No
That's
other
right.
things come to you.
Yeah. It's
And the
very
muse
focused.
has made you write it so beautifully.
The first 4 books are just, I think they're just inspired. I don't know how I could have written them myself.
Yes.
So something, it was like it was coming in from one end and going out the other. So even today, when I look at those books and those passages, I'm like, how did I write this? Half of these things I don't even understand consciously. But it's come across, like that, as though it's something that I've really grown up with and I know so much about. Tell you the truth, it was all the muses.
So that was a beautiful series, I can say, the Carl that you have brought, and out of your imagination, going to pre-Vedic period is not that easy.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know how you have brought such a treasure to the world.
And take it
That
to
is-
another universe. It was not India that I was talking about. It was another universe, another world, another system altogether.
Yeah.
So but it was great fun. Writing.
And after Carl, you have completely diverted or have brought a book called as Devadasi. Though it is a fantasy novel also, blended with history. What inspired you to start with a book like this, Devadasi?
In Devdasi. Which, by the way, is very fascinating. He gave me a copy yesterday, so I started reading. Very well written. So it's towards the end of my tenure in the Foreign Service, when I was writing about a modern day descendant of the Devdasis, essentially a prostitute, and the kind of exploitation that goes on, and this, that, and that. That very sleazy urban legend.
Though he put a seed, but it was not.
So I was like, this is not me. But I said, "Achha, maybe it will make him happy." And they were like, much more in the public eye than the normal women of that time.